And good evening, everybody, and welcome to Full Velocity TV here, presented by Kabang Energy Candy, coming to you live tonight from the Williams Grove Speedway in Pennsylvania, the world-famous half-mile flat oval that is done up just right here tonight for the RTC Open Pro Late Model Series, brought to you by TDR Racing League. Great to have you all aboard on YouTube Live this evening. Good evening, my name is Phil Lacasse, along with my broadcast partner, Too Tall Todd Stanton, down in controls for us here on Full Velocity TV. And Todd, what can we say? Race number 6 of the RTC Open Pro Late Model Series season. It's been a great season to date, but it's almost crunch time for these guys as 3 races remain in this season. Got a good little crowd here on hand tonight. 8 of the best drivers we have here to run the Open Pro Late Model Series on the dirt have traveled into Williams Grove, which should be a really great night of racing for us here live on Full Velocity TV.
Yeah, the home of the PA Posse, Williams Grove Speedway. Cannot wait to see what's going to happen here. Late models, we had street stocks earlier on in the evening here with the TDR Racing Group, and that was a fantastic run, 35 laps. There was only a couple of yellow flags, 7 cars for the TDR Fixed Pro Stock Series, and that was a fantastic race. I couldn't get out of my own way there, Phil, but it was fantastic to watch the battle up front. Jason Salter ended up bringing home the win, the DWR guy that we do see here on Wednesday nights. Jason Salter able to pick up the win here tonight, so it was interesting to see those guys go at it. We're going to watch some of the other guys go at it here tonight in the TDR Pro Late Model Series. Cannot wait, Phil. Cannot wait for what these drivers have in store for us.
Oh, absolutely not. It's going to be an awesome night, a 50-lap feature around the Williams Grove Speedway. It's just the start is going to be a very, very busy week for us here on Full Velocity TV. You know, 2 races in iRacing, 2 races in our home base NR 2003. We're right here tonight with our friends at the TDR iRacing League for RTC Open Pro Late Models. Wednesday night on the air, back over at Dirt Warrior Racing. DWR guys, Wednesday night street fighting. We'll have that live here coming up Wednesday night. Thursday night, we go back over to NR 2003 with the Hobo Racing League at the Thompson International Speedway here for a great feature in the open wheel ground pounder modifieds, and then highlighted by Sunday night. Coming up over the weekend, we go over to FTF Racing, NR 2003, the first race of the FTF Horizon Cup Series playoffs. So we're going to have all 10 races of that as well each Sunday night for the next 10 weeks. So a lot of stuff to come here, Todd. A lot of great things ahead, but we're going to focus right here at the Williams Grove Speedway here tonight, qualifying just about to wrap up on the board, and looks like our quick time tonight going to be set by our buddy, the 13 car, Martin Karch. Looks like he's going to clock in with a 20.170. Teammate Scott Schroyer second quick with a 20.205. So 2 guys up at the top of the points. So they're going to set our front row here tonight for heat race number 1. 1 heat race for these guys this evening.
It's definitely looking like 1 heat race here this evening for these guys. Normally, we're accustomed to having 2 heat races, 9 or 10 cars showing up here tonight. A couple of drivers having some difficulties getting into Pennsylvania. It's one of those things that does happen there, Phil. So the front row going to be Martin Karch, Scott Schroyer. That's going to be your front row here this evening. Williams Grove Speedway in Pennsylvania. So it's going to be interesting. Jeremy Weatherby, Charlie Startzman is your second row. Randall Thompson and David Day. It's going to be your third row. Tyler Lockhart and the number 70 of Joel By. Those guys' teammates going to start shotgun on the field. The final row, row number 4. 10 laps will be the distance here in this heat race, Phil.
I'll talk about it, Todd. With 1 heat race here this evening, these guys are going to have 10 laps to get these things tested too. Now talk about it. It's open setup racing. Is this kind of a test and tune setup wise to feel out what your car is going to have for a 50-lap main event, or are these guys going to have these things decked out for a 10-lap short run to see who it can be that wins this heat race and maybe starts their way on the pole for the 50-lap feature? What do you think these guys are thinking?
You know, I'm not sure. You're going to want the pole. That's one of those strenuous things that you probably do want there, Phil. I mean, Martin's got the pole right now. Scott was faster in practice times. Martin has the pole, the high side hustler. He's known. These guys are 1-2 in points as they sit right now. So it's Scott Schreier, the points leader, and Martin Karch sitting second in points. So these guys getting ready to get locked and loaded here. They come down the back straightaway here at Williams Grove Speedway. Martin Karch, Scott Schreier. Those are your guys on the front row. Those are your top two in points. David Day right there, third in points in that number 5 machine. He has a little bit longer road to haul there in that 6th spot in the number 5 Team Crush sponsored machine. As these guys get restacked, rebacked, ready to race here out of turn number 4. We're getting ready to get that green flag, just waiting on that flag, man, to send these guys on their way. The loud pedal is down, and they're down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Number 13, Martin Karch leads the charge. Schreier back down to the bottom side. The number 2 machine side by side action here out of 4 or 2.
Side by side out of 2 for the first time. Down the back straightaway as they hit turn number 3. It is Martin Karch with the race leading the 13. The 2 of Schreier going to slide into the 2nd spot. Third on the grid, we find the 289 of Jeremy Weatherby currently running third to 289. Also right there, Raymond Thompson, 37. David Day in the 5, that's your top 5. 1 lap on the board. They're on the back straightaway.
On the back straightaway, watching Weatherby on the screen, the Canadian Energy sponsored machine. He is running right now in the 3rd spot. And just going to check out here just a little bit. Looks like the 6 of Charlie Startzman had a little bit of an issue getting out there on the speedway. Startzman right now currently running 8th. He is 3rd on your screen. Unfortunately, Startzman has gone 1 lap down here. There's 289 of Jeremy Weatherby running in that 3rd spot. He's looking for a way around. Meanwhile, back up front, it is Martin Karch and the number 2 of Scott Schreier. The sidewinder down on the bottom side, and the 13 of Martin Karch running a little bit higher there. These guys go side by side through turn number 3 and off of turn number 4 to complete lap number 4, excuse me, on we got 6 to go out there on the speedway. Martin Karch now drifts up the track, leaving the door open just a little bit there for Scott Schreier. Schreier not able to capitalize coming down the back straightaway.
Yeah, that bright green number 13 running the high side of the racetrack. That white and red, you know, number 2 car, Budweiser, Kabang Energy, Candy, Scott Schreier machine running to the low side. We've seen these guys up front all season long in the RTZ Open Pro Late Model Series season. 1 heat race tonight. This may be a preview of what we're going to see for 50 laps as those guys battling in tooth and neck up for the lead. You know, Kenny will put a credit card between them there. Todd Martin running the high side beautifully. Scott to the low side. 7 laps going up on the board this time around. Running out of laps here in this 1 heat race.
4 laps remaining here around Williams Grove Speedway. They're already down the back straightaway there, Phil, with the 13 of Martin Karch still leading the way. The number 2 is Scott Schreier trying to take over that top spot here from the number 13 as we got 3 laps remaining here around Williams Grove Speedway. Meanwhile, there's a nice little battle heating up. There was actually indeed it wasn't a battle. It was the 289 finally getting by the number 6 of Charlie Startzman. Startzman right now still running in the 7th spot. Weatherby running 3rd. 4th is Randall Thompson having a good run in that 37 machine. He's able to fend off charges from the number 5, Mr. Excitement, David Day, who is running inside the top 5 here. But David Day just trying to test and tune his setup just a little bit as we got 2 laps to go. Popsicle 6 in the air for the number 13 of Martin Karch.
Yeah, this time around off of turn number 4, they're going to put the white flag up in the air. Scott Schreier giving everything he can handle. Martin Karch on the low side just can't fight running him around as that high side looks to be the place to be. White flag has gone up in the air into turn 1 and 2 for the final time. Martin Karch running the high side. Look at that green number 13. They say green's unlucky. It's not something you do on the sim race, in any kind of racing for that matter. Martin going to dispel all that myth here in the only qualifying heat we have here this evening. Martin Karch picking up the win over Scott Schreier. Jeremy Weatherby's going to bring it home 3rd. Race for 4th looks like it's going to belong to David Day in the 5. Randall Thompson will finish up 5th in the 37. Tyler Lockard, the 418 car, rolls it home in the 6th spot. Charlie Startzman 7th, and Joe By had some issues earlier on in the race. He'll finish up in the 8th spot, 6 laps down. So it's going to allow these guys here, Todd, to transition from a short run of 10 laps, a 5-minute test and tune, and then these guys get to throw it into feature mode for 50 laps around the Williams Grove Speedway. Wonder what these guys can change between from the heat race to the feature race to maybe make these cars come in just a little bit better.
They're definitely going to change their fuel load just a little bit. The cars are going to come in a little bit later in the run. 50 laps will be the distance in our main event here tonight at Williams Grove. You're going to see these guys make a few different changes. Maybe Short is going to try to get a little bit more forward bite coming off the corner as he could not pull off that pass on the number 13 of Martin Cart. Schroyer looked a tad faster than the number 2 machine there, Phil. So maybe he's going to change a little bit to give himself a little bit more forward bite. But fuel is going to be the biggest difference. That's what's going to make your weight a little bit different, going to make your run a little bit less, a little bit differently, I should say, as you're weighing down that car. 7 pounds per gallon of fuel is what you go by.
That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the sounds of a actual real first-class dirt racer right there. Todd knowing his way around. These guys do a lot of research, and I know a lot of you guys out there may be watching, maybe, you know, not privy to dirt racing like I am. I love to watch, love to spectate, absolutely love sitting here and calling these races week after week on the dirt. But for a guy who doesn't have a dirt race background as far as out on the racetrack goes, it's great to have a guy like Todd alongside and bring all that to life for us here. 7 pounds for each gallon of fuel. That's really, really interesting there, Todd. You're really going to make these cars, you know, handle heavy, you know, a little differently. You get the heavier fuel over there, so we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen for these guys. But like we said, a full week for us here on Full Velocity TV, kicking off here tonight at TDR Racing. If you'd like to get your league live with us on Full Velocity TV, guys, get to our Facebook page, Full Velocity TV. You can send us a message there. Also, drop us a good old-fashioned email, fullvelocitytv@gmail.com. Get a hold of Todd and myself. We will schedule out a league, you know, a night for your league. In our 2003 iRacing, we are ready to do either one. So whatever you got for us, get a hold of us now. We'll discuss dates and get your league all locked in. We'll bring you all the action right here live, flag to flag. The Todd and Phil Show. We live right here on Full Velocity TV. But Todd, what do you say before we get this 50-lap feature event under the green flag? What do you say we throw this string trackside? We're playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Back. All right, we are back here at the Williams Grove Speedway, the national anthem, getting us started here tonight for Full Velocity TV. TDR iRacing's RTZ Open Pro Late Model Series run here tonight. Thanks to the guys over at RTZ for the sponsorship of the series this season. A special thanks to those guys at Kabang Energy Candy, the presenting sponsor for Full Velocity TV here every Monday night throughout this season. Special thanks to Jeremy Weatherby, Nicholas Weatherby, all the gang over there at Kabang Energy Candy for allowing us to promote that great product and talk about it and give some away to you guys. Great things got going on here. Full Velocity TV. Todd, this is just a start of what is going to be an awesome week for us. What do you say here for 50 laps around the Williams Grove Speedway? This is going to be an awesome evening.
Cannot wait to get this evening underway for the Williams Grove Speedway here on Full Velocity TV. The TDR Late Model Series, RTZE Pro Late Model Series, I should say. Here, sponsored by Kabang Energy Candy. Starting lineup is going to go away like this. Starting on the pole, driving the number 13. He's currently second in the TDR Pro Late Model Series points. That is the high side hustler, the number 13 of Martin Karch. His dancing partner to the outside, driving the number 2. That's the Sidewinder. That's Scott Schroyer, our current points leader here in the TDR Pro Late Model Series. Next row back, starting in the third starting position, driving the 289. That's Jeremy Weatherby. His dancing partner to the outside, driving the number 5. He's coming from the fourth starting position. That's Mr. Excitement, David Day. Inside row number 3, starting that fifth starting position, driving the 37 machine. That is Randall Thompson. Outside of him in the 418 is Tyler Lockhart in the 418. Starting 7th on the field, driving the number 8, driving the number 6, excuse me, is Charlie Startzman, and his dancing partner to the outside, shotgun on the field, driving the number 70, that's Joe By.
8 drivers going to take to the world-famous Williams Grove Speedway here in Pennsylvania, the home of the PA Posse. Fast Eddie Raymer, you know, all those guys have called the PA Posse home over the years. They did it right here at the Williams Grove Speedway. We can do this iRacing style here tonight for you with the guys from the TDR iRacing stables. Look at the front row there. You find the guys at the top of the point standing. Scott Schroyer going to start outside pole here tonight. Martin Karch, second place in the standings. If you got to gain points here late in the season, Todd, if you're Martin, you got to pick up a win here in this 50-lap feature. He showed really well using that top side as he's accustomed to here in our 10-lap heat race. But can Martin have enough under the hood here tonight to hold off a hungry Scott Schroyer, a multiple-time winner of this season? Can Martin hold off Scott using the outsider? Can this race be won from further back? Can Jeremy Weatherby, can David Day, can those guys steal a win?
All those questions are going to be answered here momentarily, Phil, as these guys taking their final lap before they get the green flag. And I'm telling you, some of these guys made some massive adjustments during that warm-up session. So we're going to see some of these guys come to the front. You're going to see some of them drop off. Maybe they made their setup for a little longer. Green flag run here this evening. They're coming down here into turn number 3. It is Karch, Schroyer, your front row, waiting to drop the hammer here. Coming out of turn number 4, just waiting on that flagman to start the race and throw the green. The green is in the air. Loud pedal is down the front straightaway. Look at David Day giving the bump, giving the goose to the number 2 of Scott Schroyer. Schroyer immediately down to the bottom side by side with the 13. Schroyer gets a tad bit loose coming off a 2 down the back straightaway. It is Schroyer falling in the line. David Day now in the third, number 5 machine.
Yeah, David Day was able to make quick work of Jeremy Weatherby, but a spinner on the racetrack going to bring caution flag on the speedway for the first time here at the Williams Grove Speedway. Looks like incident going on toward the back part of the field. May have picked up the 70 car of Joe By. The 418 of Tyler Lockhart looks to also maybe have a piece of instrument as well. So going to be under yellow flag for the first time here tonight, the Williams Grove Speedway on Full Velocity TV. Todd looking like maybe just an innocent spin toward the back of the field for the 418 of Tyler Lockhart. Going to put us under our first caution flag on the opening lap of this 50-lap feature.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like the 418 is collecting his teammate, also the number 70 of Joel By here. These guys, unfortunately, under yellow flag here for the first time this evening. And this is not what these guys wanted to see early. But I guess if you wanted a yellow flag to come out, you do kind of want it early here. These guys pacing right now around pace speed. We are on lap number 3 of 50. So we got 47 laps to go. Yellow flags do count here. Yellow flag laps do count here under caution. So every lap that's logged is going to count here in the TDR Pro Late Model Series. Some of the other leagues, I know they don't count, but here they do count. So these guys are getting ready to get restacked, repacked, and reloaded here under this yellow flag. So we're going to see if Schroyer is going to have another gun here in his holster to try to get around that number 13 of Martin Karch. We're just going to have to wait and see. He's going to start on the outside, I do believe, in that number 2 machine, waiting for those lights to go out atop the iRacing official pace truck. The lights still on here. See if they're going to go off here this time by. Yep, indeed, they're going to go off this time by, Phil. Going to go back to green flag racing here momentarily as they enter turn number 1.
Well, and somebody to keep an eye on here on the restart here. And I think it's going to be key here. If we get any kind of restart, you got to get all you can get. But keep an eye on the 5 car of David Day. He made a go aggressive maneuver down into turn 1 on the opening lap of the race. Was able to clear the 289 on Jeremy Weatherby, put him up in a 3rd spot. It's going to put him on the inside lane here behind Martin Karch, and I don't think Martin's seen the inside of the racetrack much of this evening at all there, Todd. So this is going to be kind of curious here. The 13 takes this restart as the Guy Racing official pace truck makes its way out the pit road. Flagger got the green flag on the road. We're back underway. Green flag racing here at Williams Grove.
Leader has the choice and the advantage as long as you don't get that black flag here. He's able to fire when he wants to. That's the perks of being the leader. Martin Karch able to fire a little bit sooner. Here comes Scott Schroyer back down to the inside. Does he have what it takes to get that setup rolling on the bottom with that side bite and get some more forward bite off the corner here? Is Scott Schroyer going to be able to get around that number 13 of Martin Karch? He stayed on the bottom for all 10 laps of that heat race trying to get around Karch. Could not do so, but his 50 laps going to be the difference maker here between the 2 and the 13. We know Schroyer is usually a better long run driver here. If he stays a lot of green flag laps, you're going to see Schroyer probably be able to get around Karch. But Karch has won quite a few races here as of late in the iRacing community here. Dirt late models say, be it might have been sprint cars, some of these other things. Martin Karch always behind the wheel of trying to get these dirt cars to the front here. So Schroyer down on the bottom trying to work his magic here off of turn number 4, not able to complete the pass this time by completing lap number 8 of 50 here as we come down to turn 1.
Those two guys have been great race for the lead. Good race been going on for the 3rd spot as well. David A has kind of kept the lead 2 in sight, but he's starting to have to play a little bit of defense now from that Kabang Energy Candy sponsored car number 289. Jeremy Weatherby is all over the 5 of David A. That's good racing going on for the 3rd spot there as a hit turn 1.
Really nice racing going on between the 289 and Weatherby, the 5 of David Day. Weatherby working on the bottom. Looks like David Day trying to dime in the corners here in that number 5 machine. He's down here into turn number 3, dives it in. Drifts up the track just a little bit in front of the 289 and Jeremy Weatherby. Weatherby gets a little bit out of shape out of turn number 4 here. Coming back down into turn number 1. Weatherby trying to drive that in pretty good, but David Day able to make that sail off of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway, still David Day running in that 3rd spot. Meanwhile, back up front, Schroyer and Karch, there's a little bit of separation, about 2 to 3 car lengths between the number 13 of Martin Karch and the 2 of Scott Schroyer. Schroyer still working around here in that 2nd spot.
Schroyer still running 2nd. The race for that 3rd spot still pretty ferocious there as well between Day and Weatherby. And now Issues back behind these guys. I was going to pick up a good race back in the field between Joel By and Randall Thompson, but caution flag coming out on the speedway once again. Issues, it looks like off of turn number 2. This may have claimed Tyler Lockhart's car number 418 once again as well. Looks like he may be a little bit topsy-turvy. 2nd caution flag of the night. Also looks like on this one looks like may have picked up Charlie Starks from the 6th car. Charlie had a tough go over here earlier on in the street stocks. Looks like Charlie's night may have took a turn for the worst here. Also in the Open Pro Late Model Series, it looks like a 6 car may have gone around there, Todd. Nonetheless, caution flag for the 2nd time this evening.
Yeah, definitely a tough break for the 6 of Charlie Startsman. He is a driver out of Pennsylvania, so one of these tracks home to the PA Posse. Can kind of call this track home here for Charlie Startsman. Probably not one of his favorite tracks. He struggled here in the street stocks earlier, and now he's struggling here with the pro late models. He's getting some TV time though here on Full Velocity TV. Charlie been a long-time supporter here of TDR iRacing and the late model series and sprint car series. He does have a couple of wins here throughout the couple seasons that we have ran. So Charlie Startsman been a long-time runner here, and TDR does appreciate him being here. So he's out there soldiering along. Open setup's not his thing, but he's out there giving it a whirl there, Phil. So it's nice to see Charlie Startsman out there.
And sometimes it's great to come out of your comfort zone. Know a lot of leagues out there run fixed setups. Don't see an awful lot that will run the open setup. So cool to see guys, take a new challenge, come on over and, try something new. I've done that, throughout the years as myself. I haven't done much in the iRacing dirt community, but on the pavement or whatnot, I'll go out there and try my hand at open setups regardless of what simulation I'm in. So it's a brave step. It's a big step. If you may not have the open setup experience like guys like Martin, like David, like Scott have, but for guys like Charlie, come over here, try a baseline setup, make some improvements on it, and the only thing you do, Todd, is just get better. Seat time here with open setups, it makes all the difference in the world, and you got to hand it off to guys like Charlie Startsman. Come out here and make a go of it here tonight. He's going to restart from 8th in the field. We're back to green flag racing.
Back to green flag racing, watching things happen here rather quickly. The 418 almost around there through the corner. Looks like he's having a little bit of issue. The 37 of Thompson also having some trouble. Was watching Joe By in that number 70. Got milk. Sponsor machine. Oh man, him and the 418 made contact. Teammates making contact there, Phil. It's Joe By able to get around his teammate there and move himself up into that 5th position. Top 5 here for that number 70 machine. That Got Milk sponsor machine. Here comes Charlie Startsman all over this rear bumper. Great battle going on for the 5th position is what we're accustomed to do here, Phil. We try to get the whole field here on Full Velocity TV. We're showing some great battles here. We're on lap 16 of 50. Yellow flag going to fly once again. Not sure who brought out that one, but I almost can guarantee it probably is Tyler Lockhart in that number 418 machine. I know he's having a tough go of it, and he was bouncing out the wall just a little bit, and the aliens were trying to abduct him in that 418 machine.
Yeah, Tyler had a rough night of it here in the 418. It's going to put us under caution flag for the 3rd time this evening. So, believe the call from race control here is going to be single file restarts the rest of the night. Something these guys at TDR are accustomed to. The first 2 yellow flags, you guys can go back to double file restarts. You get a 3rd one, they'll put you single file here. So for the majority of the rest of this race here, not even 20 laps into the event. So 52 laps to go here, or 42 laps to go, 32 laps to go. I can't even do math here tonight. Is completely lost track. 32 laps to go at the Williams Grove Speedway. Going to be single file the rest of this night. How is that going to change the complexion of restarts there, Todd? Because you saw guys like David Day, you got guys like Weatherby, Joe By back there trying to get all they can get on a restart. Single file restart, that's going to change the complexion of this entire race for these guys now. How do you think they attack it differently?
They're going to be able to go wherever they want to go to on the restarts. Just they're not going to be stuck up on the high side. I mean, you can attack it quite a bit different. As you can go down to the bottom, or you can choose the high side. The only problem is you're not up alongside of that car, so you cannot use that to your advantage, and that's the only problem with a single file restart. The great advantage goes to the leader, the number 13 of Martin Karch right now. He gets to lead them down here single file. He's able to fire. He could bottleneck up the field if he really wanted to take off. I mean, Martin, I've never seen do that a lot, but that's one of those games that you can play here on the restart is get those guys right tucked up underneath your bumper, do a little bit of a quick break and go, and then you're out to a 5-car length advantage already down into turn 1. That's one of the terminologies that happens here at the local dirt tracks all around me is, the leader can play the restart games in single file.
Oh, you absolutely can. We'll have to keep an eye on, what kind of shenanigans that the 13 may have, at his disposal here to maybe play a little bit of game with a 2-car on the restart. Those guys are teammates, keep in mind. If there's a team to take, notes on it, maybe about them 2 guys. Unfortunately for guys like Joe By, Tyler Locker there, Todd, I think they may have taken the Phil and Todd school of how to be teammates together, because we see those guys bounce off each other here tonight. Hopefully they'll do better here over the course of the next 30 laps. We're back to green flag racing here at Williams Grove.
Back to green flag racing down into turn number 1. David Day now working on the bottom side of Scott Schroer. That's an immediate battle for that 2nd spot. David Day not able to get by there. As David Day kind of erratic here, going down to the bottom side, trying to get around the 2 of Scott Schroer. Schroer able to pull off a little bit more momentum on the top shelf of the Speedway. That number 2 machine still able to hang on to 2nd. Meanwhile, now David Day comes under fire from the 289 on Jeremy Weatherby. Once again, Weatherby back down to the bottom, trying to work over David Day down to turn 3. Day pinches down the door here in that number 5 machine. He is able to stay in that 3rd spot, but Weatherby all over him down the front straightaway.
All over him like a cheap suit there is that 289 of Weatherby. Looks like his car may be a little bit faster here in the short run, but it's just tough to pass here at Williams Grove, a flat racetrack. It's real tough to get the grip down low. You really got to drive it in deep, just as he did there. Move the 5-car up the hill a little bit. Now we go slide job. Here comes the 5-car back on the low side, off of 4 down toward turn 1. Great racing here going on to 3rd. David, they're going to complete the slide job. They'll slide back up in front. Not quite clear, side by side on the back straightaway.
Oh, contact made there. David Day almost around. Nice save by him. And Weatherby gets around, and around he goes. The number 6 of Charlie Startsman had nowhere to go as Weatherby completely sideways there in the track. Weatherby tried to bring it back. The number 6 of Startsman just gets right into the 289 machine. Nowhere to go for Startsman. Innocent bystander there of the contact being made between the 5 and the 289. Great race, though, going on for that third spot. We see a pair of slide jobs there going on, Phil.
Yeah, that was pretty spectacular racing right there as that was going on for third. And, you know, looks like, you know, when David, you know, wasn't quite clear, I did see him start to slap the racetrack. Jeremy gave him quite the shove going into the turn and maybe upset both race cars. David tried to swing it back to the low side, and that brought them both around. And, you know, unfortunate circumstance there. Looks like Charlie Startsman got a piece of that one. Looks like Joe Pye may have got a little bit of it as well, as Joe Pye may be trying to make milk great again here tonight on car number 70. But looks like right now the cow rolling in the wrong direction. Joe Pye got the 70 car, currently running in the 7th spot.
As we decided to go in car with the number 70 machine, just clearing off a nice helmet cam that we got as the camera finally clears off the mud here. Off the number 70 machine, he spent most of his time here in the back of the pack here. He's been almost up as high as 5th, I do believe. Let's take a look at some of his stats as we go through here. Nice little stats that we have here for this driver is his highest has been 5th, his lowest has been 8th. That's where he started. So right now he is currently running 7th on the field as Joe Pye. So nice to see Joel doing some good things here. He's able to make it up through the field, but contact being made here. Joel right now running in that 7th spot. So we're going to have to see if he has anything left here to try to peek himself back inside that top 5, Phil.
We'll have to see here as we get ready for the restart here for the Williams Grove Speedway. Approaching, we're past the halfway mark. 27 of 50 laps up on the board. iRacing pace truck going to make its way onto pit road. Going to put the field back in Martin Karch's hand. Green flag unveiled. Green flag back on the speedway as they head toward turn number 1. The single file restart pod really opened up this field, really spread them out into turn 1 and 2. More contact in the back there between Weatherby and I believe that may have been, I think that was the 6th car of Startsman may have gotten involved in that one. I think those two may have tangled together for the 5th time this evening. The Williams Grove Speedway caution flag back on the speedway here, right off the restart here. We're past the halfway marker. Single file restarts. I'm not sure what we can say here, Todd. I don't know if we've ever had to page Dr. Green in the iRacing community, but this one gets another yellow flag. We may have to start thinking about making that house call.
Yeah, Williams Grove's pretty tricky track there, Phil. It's difficult to navigate those fences and then the walls on the back straightaway. Really tough to stay off of, and they really suck you in here at Williams Grove. But just as we were looking through, we had the Kabang Energy in-car camera on Jeremy Weatherby as Weatherby was getting ready to go back to green flag racing. That would have been a neat look, but the yellow flag immediately came out. But we're going to do a little bit of stat time here on Jeremy Weatherby. As you've seen on your screen, he started 3rd. His lowest has been 4th, but his highest has been 3rd. So he's pretty much stayed right up here in the top 4 there, Phil. So Jeremy Weatherby, Kabang Energy sponsored machine, all kinds of full of energy here this evening, able to stay inside the top 4.
Yeah, and that's some great energy candy there. If you're looking for that little late, 3 o'clock feeling of spurt, Kabang Energy Candy got you all hooked up here. Todd, you've got a handful of product there as well, waiting for my shipment to come in because I really want to try some of this stuff out. When I hit that 2 o'clock wall in the afternoon, my butt starts dragging, or even here about 8:30 this evening when, my butt didn't want to come off the couch here and had to get up here on the airways of Full Velocity TV. Just going to try out some of this Kabang Energy Candy. From what I'm hearing, Todd, from you and a couple of people I know have tried it, really great product, different flavors, great stuff.
Definitely good stuff. 4 different flavors here. You got grape, you got the apple, watermelon, excuse me. You got cherry, and you also got, and of course I don't have one right here with me, obviously because they're all packed. A lot of them are packed up for shipment. But there's 4 different flavors that you will receive when you get those shipments. Those shipments for the people that have won are going to be on their way out the door this week. So we're going to see what's going to happen with those. And you guys give me your feedback on Kabang Energy Candy. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing. These guys restack, repack, green flag in the air. Martin Karch's water pedals down into turn number 1. Here comes Scott Schroeder down to the bottom side. He drifts up the track with the number 5 machine, trying to go back down to the bottom immediately. Going on offense is the number 5, trying to get around the 2, Scott Schroyer. Schroyer still holding on to the 2nd spot. Meanwhile, David Day all over his rear bumper. The Canadian Energy sponsor machine still running in 4th. Look at Charlie Startzman up to 5th in that number 6 machine. Meanwhile, nice battle going on for that 2nd spot.
And David Day trying to find his way to the low side of Scott Schroyer. Maybe be the first time that Scott has been challenged all evening long in the Williams Grove Raceways. He's trying to chase down Martin Karch all night, but now can Schroyer that flying deuce? Can he take care of the 5 car? He's going to hold them off as these cars kind of start to tend to get more laps into them. We've talked about the notorious long track run kind of guy that Scott Schroyer is. David Day, that car usually is he set up every week. Kind of a short run kind of guy. He's got long run speed here. Is great racing going on there for 2nd, but all still chasing Martin Karch up at turn 4. 34 laps going on the board, and caution flag's going to come back on the racetrack. Caution flag for the 6th time this evening. This one kind of getting a little bit ugly there. Looks like Joe By in the 70 car. Well, that one may be a case of some spilled milk. There is that car, looks like a round in a circle. No worse for the wear. Joe By under the caution flag here. Joe's had a really solid season, but having a rough go over tonight, as is his Rookie of the Year candidate, challenger, the 37 of Randall Thompson, who had an early spin of the event. He's 2 laps down.
Yeah, definitely tough for Randall Thompson. As we were getting ready to watch on the gyro cam here. The number 2 is Scott Schroyer. And again, I switched to one of the beautiful in-car cameras we have here at Supply here for Full Velocity TV. No yellow flag comes out, so that goes to show you that they don't want me to race in car and let you guys see what's going on in these in-car fills. So I'm going to stick outside here, the outside cameras, and show all the great racing that's been going on here at Williams Grove Speedway. Even though we've been mired by a few yellow flags here tonight, unfortunately, that's been the way of the land. Hopefully, we will be able to get it back going here. As this is caution number 6. We've had 17 caution laps here this evening. 15 laps to go here. So we're going to see what's going to happen. Average lap time 20.74 is our average lap time. So that's kind of what we don't want to see here at Williams Grove. And it's a rather slow pace here being set by these guys. The fastest lap of the evening, though, has been a 20.548. That's been set by Martin Karch in that number 13 machine, Phil. Lights are out on top. The iRacing.com pace truck. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing as they go down the back straightaway.
Yeah, just about a quarter of a lap away from, getting these things back, under the green flag. Truck going to make that left-hand turn. He's going to glide down the pit lane. Now it's going to put it back over to Martin Karch. Will be the first. He's going to punch it in a high gear. Martin Karch takes the green flag. We're back headed toward turn number 1 and 2. 13 with the middle side of the racetrack. 2 car. He's trying to hold up and challenge David Day to the low side. Scott had to do all he could to pitch the 5 car down low. That's good racing for 2nd. That's going to bring the 289 of Weatherby back into the fray. Good 4-car race up in the front here, Todd. We've had a lot of short runs. I want to see how this thing goes out in the long run. This time around, 38 on the board, so we have 12 laps remaining for our 50-lap AB.
Yeah, a lot of things great going on down the back straightaway. These guys, top 4 are pretty close together here. Coming down to turn number 3, Schroyer still working on the bottom side. You can see different grooves that these guys are running. Off of turn number 4, it is going to be the 13 of Martin Karch, still your current race leader. We got 11 more laps to go here. As we come down the back straightaway, it's still Karch, Schroyer, Day, and Weatherby. That is your top 4. Startzman running in that 5th spot. Joe By back up to 6th. Tyler Lockhart in the 418. He is running 7th. 8th is Randall Thompson in 37. 10 laps remain here. 10 more circuits around this half-mile track of Williams Grove Speedway in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
Can anybody do anything on Martin Karch? He's closing 10 laps. Scott Schroyer has been the best contender to him all night long. As these laps start to click away, Martin's got a 3 or 4 car length advantage off of turn number 4. Scott Schroyer right there with 2. It's about 4 or 5 car lengths back to the 5 car of David Day, who keeps trying to run to the low side of the racetrack. 3 car lengths behind him. You find the 289 of Weatherby currently running toward 5th place. You find Charlie Startzman having a very respectable run here in the top 5. 6th is Joe By, Tyler Lockhart 7th, Randall Thompson is 8th, but we're running out of laps here, Todd. 8 circuits remaining around the Williams Grove Speedway. Martin Karch at 3 car length advantage. Scott Schroyer trying to do all he can to cut into it. Now it's about time to see how these cars will be setting up, because this may be the longest green flag run we have seen of the night. Let's see what's going to happen here in these closing laps.
As we go in car with the number 2 of Scott Schroyer down here into turn number 1. Schroyer, his camera cleaning itself off here all over the rear bumper. The 13 of Martin Karch is looking at his run here going down into turn 3, dives it down to the bottom side, trying to get alongside the number 13 of Karch as they come off of turn number 4 down the front straightaway. It's still Karch with the lead, but Schroyer is really trying to work on that bottom side, that number 2 machine.
Now, and you see how, grip is, you see that grip going up to the top side there. It's starting to go away a little bit, but that bottom side seems to starting to get a little bit more racy. Scott's been running down there. David A trying to make it all happen down there. Martin's a guy who loves to run to the outside of the racetrack on the cushion all around this half mile there, Todd. Do you think that may work out through the course of those last, 5 or 6 laps of the race, or does that low side have a shot there? If Scott is to continue running it, is there going to be enough time to work it in to maybe make that pass for the race win here in these closing laps?
Scott's going to have to try to throw everything he can at him, including that kitchen sink, in order to get by that number 13 of Martin Karch. And right now, I believe he's trying to set him up there, but he's going to have to, I believe, pull a slide job if he's going to go around that number 13 machine, or is he going to settle for second? He can't settle for long, and he cannot let off too much. That 5 of David Day is right there, as we got 3 laps remaining here around Williams Grove Speedway. It's still Martin Karch, Scott Schroyer, David Day. That's your top 3. They've separated themselves a little bit from the 289 and Jeremy Weatherby, who is currently running fourth.
And Jeremy's had a good night of it. He stayed kind of right up there in tow with these guys, but the top 3 have started to kind of whittle themselves away from the pack. But I'm impressed tonight, Todd. It's really hard to be impressed by like a David Day, all the accomplishments he's had in all sorts of sim racing. But the 5 car tonight, he's really impressed me. He's almost been able to keep pace with these top 2 all leading along. But as I say that, well, a little bit of bobble from the 5 car. He was a couple of car lengths behind these guys. Well, now those guys have kind of started to drift away from the 5 car of David Day. The 5 car has had a really respectable run here tonight, currently running third.
As they come down the back straightaway for the final time. Here down into turn number 3. Schroyer tries it once again. Tries it on the bottom side. And that number 2 machine not going to be able to pull off the pass off of 4. Taking home the win here, Williams Grove Speedway, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. It's the high side hustler, Martin Karch. And that number 13 machine, second, is going to be Scott Schroyer. And that number 2, third, is going to be David Day, just barely limping it home there. Jeremy Weatherby going to be 4th. 5th, the number 6 machine of Charlie Startzman. Great top 5 finish there for Startzman. Joel By running 6th. 7th is Tyler Lockhart in the 418 machine. He is going to be able to finish 7th here in his first initial start here at TDR Pro, at the TDR iRacing Pro Series RTZ and Kabang Energy sponsored event. And then Randall Thompson going to bring home 8th here tonight, 2 laps down. Not one of his favorite tracks here. Williams Grove, not one of my favorite tracks. So Randall, I'm kind of on board with you in that number 37 machine. But again, it's going to be Martin Karch taking home the win. He had the fastest lap of the evening with a 20.548. He led all 50 laps tonight, all 50 circuits around Williams Grove Speedway here in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, he absolutely did. He brings home the win over the 2 car of Scott Schroyer. And how about the run tonight for the 5 car of David Day? Had a really sporty run there. David, you're going to bring that home in the 3rd spot this evening. That looked like it'd be a really tough racetrack to pass on here tonight. How much did the wave of caution flags maybe fall into your lap this evening to allow you to finish up in the 3rd spot?
I think we were a 3rd place car all night. We just, the cautions were kind of nice after messing up so many times and trying to figure out the line that we were going to run. So I'm definitely happy about them, but yeah.
Now, I seen a bobble here with about a lap and a half to go. You were right up on the top 2, and all of a sudden you just completely, fell off the pace. What happened there? Was that a mistake in the cockpit, or did that car, just kind of start eating some extra air fumes?
I don't know how we finished 3rd. We went into turn 3, and I was starting to figure out, obviously 38 laps too late or 48 laps too late, and hit the inside wall and spun it around, did a complete 360, kept going, and unfortunately Jeremy had nowhere to go, and I thought he was going to pass me, but he must have thought I was going to get out of the way faster or something, but luckily I just kept digging and still got 3rd.
Well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, brother. When you finish up in the third spot here tonight, pretty good run for you. Been solid season for you in the RTZ Open Pro Late Model Series. I know you got a lot of friends, family, and sponsors to thank out there, so take it away and do this, that, brother.
Yeah, just shout out to my Team Crush 3-unit guys. It's always fun to come out and represent and try to get it the way that we do, which is just kind of go out there and throw something together and make it happen. But we're enjoying the season so far. Thanks for everybody putting this on, TDR, RTC, and we'll be back next week for sure.
All right. Well, that's David Day. He's in the number 5 car tonight. He brings it home with a solid podium finish here, as does our current series points leader tonight. He brings home the number 2 car in the second position here tonight. Scott, tell us about that evening. Had a lot of caution flags, but golly, if you've got a long run, this racetrack looked to be awfully tough to pass. Tell us about that 50 laps.
Yeah, it's definitely tough to pass, and especially with Martin up there. Martin is so good at being consistent and protecting that line. But really hate seeing all these cautions because we actually set the car up to get, make better passes when it was getting slick out. And I think we were catching Martin there a little bit. I don't know if we could ever got around him, but didn't want to see those cautions. I wanted to see the track slick up a little more.
Yeah, that's my next question there. Is this track was able to slick up a little more and kind of the groove kind of moved out a little bit. You guys, as you said, had these cars set up for a long run. Was there something underneath the hood of the 2 car that you maybe could have threw at Martin if we had that long extended run?
No, not really. Martin's so smooth and consistent, and it just he'd had to screw up for me to get around him. Yeah, I could get inside of him on the bottom, there at the start, but he just took the exit away, and it's so tough to pass here. But Martin did a good job, and he did what he needed to do, and congrats to him on the win.
Man, Scott, I mean, that's just brutal honesty right there. I would at least made it exciting and said, no, if I got to him, I was going to dump his ass. But that's what good teammates do versus Todd and myself. But we'll just kind of leave that for another day because we can go on about that for hours. But, Scott, I know you've got a lot of people to thank out there. We've had a good crowd on YouTube Live here this evening. Thank all those guys out there that got you here this evening.
I'd like to thank you guys. You guys, Full Velocity, just do an awesome job every week. And Kabang Energy Candies, Budweiser, GRT Race Cars. I don't know if we give any Kabang Energy Candy away tonight out there, but if we didn't, you need to try it.
I could not agree more there. That is our buddy Scott Schroyer, the point leader. Comes home with a very solid second place effort here tonight, but one spot short of ending up in victory lane here at the Williams Grove Speedway here tonight, but only one guy could get there. And tonight it was Martin Karch, who was trackside with Too Tall Todd Stanton in victory lane.
I'm down here in victory lane with the high side hustler Martin Karch. And Martin, you're getting accustomed to coming down here and visiting me down in victory lane. Tonight at Williams Grove, you were able to lead all 50 laps in dominating fashion. Scott Schroyer had nothing for you. I don't think he was going to be able to get by you there tonight, Martin. You were on rails.
Yeah, we done some testing this weekend. Tried a new setup, and yeah, setup worked. So here we are, boys.
Well, I know Williams Grove was not one of your favorite tracks here in this iRacing stable, Williams Grove. Tell us what it takes to get around here and miss the fence here on the back straightaway. I know we've all hit that quite a few times, quite many times, I should say.
Well, I had to have a nice little small prep talk with myself before the race. We went over to the opening, and I said, listen here, you ain't gonna make me your bitch tonight. Not gonna happen.
Oh, the comic relief of Martin Karch. Martin, I'm going to give you the microphone. The floor is all yours, and the defense reply back to you. We all acquiring minds want to know.
Well, unfortunately, the fence did try back talking to me, but I had to throw Phil at it and put it back in its place. But I just want to thank you guys here at Full Velocity TV for broadcasting tonight. Everybody here at TDR, week in, week out, drivers, everybody.
Well, again, that's the driver of the number 13 picking up the win tonight. The high side hustler Martin Karch here in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Williams Grove Speedway, the site here tonight. And we're going to have to see if he's going to be able to keep up with his momentum next week at Limaland. I know that's not one of his favorite tracks, Phil. I know that's a tough track to tame. It's almost like a Darlington there. Limaland breeds a lot of yellow flags, and it is close proximity racing at Limaland. So we're going to see, and we're all going to be in for a treat next week. High-speed demolition derby for the Pro Late Model Series.
Oh, absolutely right, which is going to be great. You know what else is going to be great there, Todd? A couple of nights from now, 2 nights from now, we go back over to Dirt Warrior Racing here for a Wednesday night street fight. You know, you talk about a dogfight. You know, last time we were there, Todd, 2 weeks ago, if you can believe it, there was a great party in Victory Lane between you and EJ Jones. I know you're about as excited to go back over to DWR Wednesday night as I am. That is going to be a fun time.
Yeah, definitely going to be a fun time. Great to join those guys all the time. DWR, they put on one whale of a show, and if you're missing them on a weekly basis, Wednesday nights here on Full Velocity TV, we're going to have all of their season number 3 here on Full Velocity TV. We're not going to miss a date, unless something, of course, comes work-related for myself. But we're not going to miss a date for those guys. I'm glad to be a part of what they got to offer over there. Great bunch of drivers and side-by-side racing. What more can you ask for? Street stocks, full-fendered frenzy of the street stocks. So you're able to see a little bit more rubbing with those cars and get away with it. So those guys pretty much stay off each other. Side-by-side action. We've seen 3 and 4 wide with those guys. Those guys put on a fantastic show. We have a lot of other shows in store for us here on Full Velocity TV. Cannot wait for going back to Hobo Racing League there, Phil. We got those guys coming up again. Then we got FTF coming up on Sunday here for NASCAR 2003. You know, the start of their chase format kind of ordeal there. You know, their Monster Energy sponsor, not sponsored, but their type of chase format, I should say, here on Full Velocity TV. So it's going to be 10 races for those guys here on Full Velocity TV every Sunday night. So you'll be able to clue into them. So every Wednesday and Sunday, we're booked right solid for probably the next 10 races there, Phil.
We absolutely are a full schedule and love to take on some more. Head over to our social media pages, Full Velocity TV. We've got a page and a group on Facebook, and also drop us an email, fullvelocitytv@gmail.com, and let's get your league here on the airwaves now. So for my buddy Todd Stanton, alongside me here tonight, the guys at Kabang Energy Candy, thanks so much for the sponsorship. My name is Phil Lacasse. We'll see you back here 2 nights from now, where Wednesday night will be all night for fighting right here on Full Velocity TV.